let's talk about the sales page for your product. If you're trying to get a seven-figure product launch, and your sales page is going to play a critically important role in the success of your launch, right? Like, if your sales page sucks, right, you're not gonna get a lot of traction. Um, your sales page is gonna be critically important, and this applies whether you're launching like an e-commerce product, maybe you're selling some kind of sports equipment type thing, like basketballs or something else, or some tennis rackets, or you're selling some kind of exercise equipment, or you might be selling even like a supplement or something like that. In all these cases, you need a really effective sales page if you want your products to really sell and you want to get to a super successful seven-figure product launch. Same applies if you're launching a SaaS or some kind of software product or an app. You still need a great sales page that sells people on your package on trying the solution, and then later on converting to your upgrade packages, like if you have like a paid plan, um, things like that. uh, and the same applies if you're launching a course, some kind of info product. You still are going to need a really effective sales page. Now, writing a sales page, if you've never done it before, can be a little bit challenging because you might not be as used to the kind of persuasive type of writing that's really required to get great results with this kind of thing. And you're gonna need to get super persuasive. So if that's you, what I recommend you do is that you go and you hire a professional copywriter. It doesn't need to be something very expensive, but to get better results, you need a really great copywriter. Now, when launching your product for the first time, you can get away writing your sales page, your sales letter yourself. You can look at a few books on copywriting, you can look at a few tutorials, and you can actually follow along and create a sales page that gets the job done. And then as you get sales, now you know the importance of sales copywriting. You can actually then go hire a professional copywriter to come in and do like a version 2 that is even stronger and that lifts your sales up, right? So that's something you can do. But what I'm gonna give you also here is I'm actually gonna walk you through my own framework that you can use to write your own sales page. And this is what I recommend that you use and you look at. There are other frameworks out there that you can look at. There's a lot of copywriting frameworks for this kind of thing. So my own framework that I recommend for a sales page like this, if you're just getting out the gate and you want a framework that's gonna make it easier to have a really good sales page for your product, is a framework that I invented myself, and it's called the PSD-QQ framework. So it's PSD and then QQ. So those letters all stand for something. And P stands for problem. We always begin with the problem. The bigger the problem that we can solve, or our problem can solve for the market, the better. SD stands for solution design, and we're gonna come to that. And then QQ stands, the first Q stands for something, and the second Q stands for something else. So the first Q stands for quantification. We're also gonna come to that. And then the last Q stands for questions. And we're also gonna explain that. So let's look at a hypothetical example so that you can actually learn how to apply this simple framework to writing your sales page. So suppose we're selling a SaaS and our product is a habit building application that people, maybe they pay $100 a month for, where they're gonna get like prompts to work out and to focus. And the main thing maybe that our product does is that it helps them overcome social media addiction. So the first thing we want on our landing page, on our sales page for this product is gonna be something like we want a big bold headline. And in the PSD-QQ framework, the big bold headline is always gonna be about the problem, like the problem we're trying to solve for them. So our headline could be something like, "Are you stuck spending 5 hours a day on social media again?" You know, like something that catches their eye, like, that's the problem I'm dealing with. You know, like, so now they gotta at least read, because like it's calling out a problem that's very real, very practical to them. So that's why you want to focus on problems. Now that we caught their attention, our entire first part of this sales page is just gonna talk about the problem. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna describe the problem in depth. You're gonna talk about the problem. You're gonna talk about the causes of the problem. You're gonna talk about the effects of the problem, like the spending all this time on social media means you're not getting your work done. If you're a student, maybe you're falling behind in your studies. You know, all kinds of things. You're gonna talk about all that. And then something else that we bring in now, after we've talked about the problem a great deal, is now we're gonna bring in the first Q. And remember, we said the first Q stands for quantification. So we want to quantify the problem. Like maybe it's costing you 20 hours a week, or however many hours a week in lost productivity. 30 hours a week, you know, that's a big problem. In a year, that's costing you hundreds of hours that you could have worked towards a promotion. You could have you know, carried out a side hustle. You could have taken out a second job. You could have made progress on your hobbies or something like that. So that's quantification. We're quantifying the problem. What this does is it builds the value for your solution so that they really realize and understand why they need a solution and why this is a problem that needs to be solved. Now, the next step is SD, which is solution design. And now what we're gonna do is we're now gonna portray a picture to them of what an ideal solution looks like. This is where you want to point out what their life would look like if they had an ideal solution. Like, okay, you're going to save so much time, you're going to be so much more effective, you're going to be less stressed, you're going to be more focused, you're going to get a promotion at work, and it won't take you that much time to get all the things done. You're gonna have more time to work out. Your health is gonna improve. You know, all kinds of things, right? Like that's solution design. Talk to them about what the ideal solution looks like. And this app doesn't take that much time to use every day in order to see improvements. You can log on for just 20 minutes at a time and start using it, and the system already gives you incredible improvements. Within just 7 days, this is what you're gonna see. So now you're talking about the ideal solution. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring in that first Q again, which is quantification. After we've described the ideal solution, we want to quantify the value of it. Like it's gonna save you 300 hours a year, or however many hours in productivity savings, time saved that you would have wasted on social media before, or something like that. It's gonna allow you to move faster on your big projects. If you are like a CEO of a company, you're gonna be able to complete more projects every month and grow your business, right? Like you can talk about the quantification of the result for different kinds of people that might be using the product. And then having quantified it, you talk even more about why this product is that perfect solution that we just showed them. We did the solution design for them, and now you talk about how your product fits that criteria perfectly. This product is better than the alternatives because it has got all these features that we talked about, how the ideal solution needs to save you time. It's got all these features, it's got all these benefits, and it does all these great things for you that the ideal solution would do. So that's critically important, and so you want to quantify that, and then you show that your product fits that description. Now we've done a lot of work, and we've given them the solution, and now what you actually want to do is one last thing about the quantification here is don't undersell your product, right? Like, don't be kind of too shy to talk about why your product is better than average or is one of the best products in that category in the market. You really want to lay it all out, because if you don't say it, they might not buy the product, and then they will never actually find out. So unless you say it on the page, it might not as well not exist, right? So you really want to leave no stones unturned. You really want to just give them all the information about why this product is a compelling product for them. And then, having done all that, then the last thing we want to do is we want to bring in the last Q in PSD-QQ. The last Q stands for questions, because your customer or your ideal prospect is going to have a lot of questions about your solution when they are done reading what your solution does, and we've gone through all the prior parts. So they might be asking themselves questions like, I'm busy, I work 2 jobs, won't this just create another to-do item on my already long to-do list? Won't this actually waste even more time than I'm already wasting? I mean, like, that might be a legit question for them, because like anytime you try to create change, even though you might be taking something away, you're also creating new homework for them, and that's kind of tough for a lot of people to handle. So that's gonna be a legit question in their mind. Another question might be like, well, how much does this cost? And isn't that too expensive? I already have a lot of bills that I need to pay. So you're gonna need to answer questions and objections, right? Like, because people are gonna have objections like, well, I don't really have time to invest in this right now, or I really don't log into these apps all that often. Is there a mobile app or something like that? So you kind of need to answer. So make sure you answer all these questions, all these objections, because if you don't answer them, the reader is gonna think in their mind that, well, I don't see nothing about addressing this, so these guys probably don't have that addressed. So unless you address the objection, unless you answer the question, you're gonna lose some people over those objections and questions. So what you want to do is, a good way to do this is actually have an FAQ section at the end of your sales letter. And the FAQ just answers all the common questions, all the common objections that someone might have about your product. And by addressing all these things in that FAQ, all these questions, you make sure you answer all the objections, all the questions, and then that improves your conversion rate on your product. So that's really how you write a sales page for your product. If you want to have a 7-figure product launch, whether you're in e-commerce, in SaaS, in coaching, info products, memberships, and things like that. Now, there are some other tactics that you can add to this core framework. Like, you can add some urgency and scarcity to make your product sell even better. But those are kind of creative elements that you can weave in and add at will. But just the basic PSD-QQ framework, for me, I certainly find it very, very helpful. And of course, I came up with it from my experiences selling things over the years, writing a lot of copy, and also studying other copywriting systems as well as sales systems like Jordan Belfort's straight line sales system and Neil Rackham's spin selling system. Like, I highly recommend you look at a whole bunch of sales books and other sales kinds of systems to get even more ideas about how you can make your own product sales pages so much better. And if you're looking for free resources, you can book a free brainstorm call with me to figure out how to get more sales of your products. You can also grab my free book as well as my free bootcamp. The links are in the description.